Good morning. I was driving down a narrow winding road the other day, just going for a drive. And I come around a corner and there, right in front of me, was a group of push bike riders. Have you ever had that happen? Of course, I had to slow down and sit behind them and then just wait for an opportunity to get around them. We had come up to a hill, so I thought I would need to get around them pretty soon, otherwise they were going to slow me down and I'd get stuck behind them forever. I'm not sure why that annoyed me so much, because I was not really in a hurry to get anywhere. But to my utter amazement, they didn't really slow down much going up the hill. Some had stood up on their bikes, which gave everybody in the family a better view of the lycra. But you can see that some of them were working quite hard to keep up. I just sat in the comfort of my motorised vehicle, stretching my legs a little bit from sitting too long in one place, and wondering what would possess someone to go through all that punishment. Now, no doubt about it, they were definitely fit. But my thoughts were to think that there's far better ways of getting somewhere. Now, just in case you haven't noticed, I'm not really a bike rider. Now, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against those who do ride, except maybe when I'm a little bit inconvenienced and I have to go slowly behind them for a while. Now, since I'm not really a so-called bike rider, I really have no understanding of what it takes to be able to ride to the speeds that they do, and not even really slow down for the hills. Now, I'm sure that I would have to be very fit. I would have to train hard. But like I said before, there must be an easier way. Now, what if something were to happen to my car? Just for argument's sake. And for some reason, I didn't have access to another one. Think about that. What if, for some reason, the world changed and cars were no longer allowed, and the only form of transport available is the push bike? Now, I'm sure I would fast develop a respect for those riders who could pedal up hills so easily. I'm also aware that in a world of push bikes, I would get well and truly left behind. See, our own journey through life could be like that sometimes. Do we come across changes, and sometimes we go in different directions and we wind up in places we're not prepared for. One day, we could just be cruising through life, not a care in the world, looking at all the scenery around us, and perhaps we just might get slightly annoyed now and again when someone slows us down or gets in our road. Sometimes our lives can change so much that the vehicles we are used to travelling in can just get snatched away from us. And all of a sudden, we have to explore whole new ways of doing things. And it's not easy to plan or anticipate for something we can't see. But we can be left flattened and shell-shocked when something comes our way that we don't expect. The Bible constantly warns us that change is coming. We can very often see signs happening around us that there is change. One is we're getting older, and with that comes change. Even when you think about it, the world is changing all the time. In the beginning, when God created the world, it was good. But these days, we see things around us that really aren't that good. People live in disobedience, and the world has become polluted and corrupted. People like to live the way they want because it's my life. Reminds you of a song, it's my life. I can do what I want. Unfortunately, selfish people doing what they like can cause pain and suffering for others. Causing pain and suffering for others can sometimes make people feel better about themselves. Round and around it goes, pain and suffering. As we journey through life, we can possibly ignore the pain and suffering that's happening around us and maybe look for an easier way, like driving in the car. Easy. God is not offering us an easy way of life, through life. He's showing us the way of patiently enduring pain and suffering. Paul, in his letter to the Corinthian church, was talking about his own pain and suffering, and he asked God to please take that away from him. He talks about it in 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9, and God said, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me." See, God's power is at its strongest when we are weak. And his power gives us the strength and endurance to overcome anything the world can throw at us. You know, it's part of God's plan that we endure the suffering that comes our way. Look, Jesus suffered. He died on a cross. He was crucified. And we also are called to suffer and die with him. In Mark chapter 8, verse 34, "Then he called the crowd to him along with his disciples and said, 'Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny himself and take up their cross and follow me.'" Well, that cross doesn't sound very nice, does it? The journey to find God is not an easy road, and it will often start when our own strength has failed us, and we are left often wallowing in our own weaknesses. We are called to strengthen our spiritual muscles, if you like, to train in patient endurance. Our faith is built and grown and strengthened from patient endurance of our own pain and suffering. It's no easy way. If we are to negotiate the faith journey of life, we can't just sit in our comfortable vehicles waiting for others to get out of the road. We are all called to get in our groups of riders, get fit, Train hard. Let's all start the journey of building our spiritual muscles so that when the day comes, and the Bible says it will, we are not in danger of being left behind. Makes you think. Thank you for listening to me today. Have a great and blessed week.